Hey y'all, UFC 319 is a Saturday, and this is my predictions for the main card. So let's get into it. The first fight of the main card is Tim Elliott versus Kaya Sakara. Now, Tim Elliott, very good wrestler, Division II All-American, and to kind of be complimenting that, he's also good with submissions. He's got 3 submission wins in his career. Now, he's also not a bad striker. He's a decent striker. He trained with Dominic Cruz. You kind of see that in his unorthodox kind of way he uses footwork. He does movement. He strikes. You can kind of see that influence he got from training with Dominic Cruz. And to kind of back that up, not just his striking, but his grappling, he's got the most takedowns and most total strikes in UFC flyweight history. And I think he's second in control time and top position in flyweight history. And so, very much the way he likes to fight, he likes to press forward, using his punches to then take you down, and then chain wrestle to keep you down, to land ground and pound, or maybe even find a submission. But that's what he likes to fight. And so this kind of wrestler versus striker matchup, because Kai Sakara is a striker. He's got knockout power in his hands. He's got a black belt in karate, but he also learned Muay Thai and boxing. So he blended all 3 of them together to create this kind of his own style of striking. And with that too, he's got 13 KOs of his 16 finishes. So you can know this dude can knock you out. He's got good footwork. He likes to use lateral movement and angles to then open up his opponent to strikes and all that. And he likes to go in the body. Doesn't just like to go to the head. He likes to go to the body, which is a good target because it's bigger than your head. And low kicks, which would be important in this fight, because if he can low kick Elliott enough, he can take away Elliott's power, not just to punch, but to push off for takedowns, which Kaya Sakara doesn't have the greatest takedown defense or grappling defense. You saw that in the Pantoja fight, when after Pantoja in the first round, Pantoja took him down and finished him. So he will trade, because he's willing to take the trade, because he's got the bigger hand, so he feels he can knock you out. And in this, for him to win, the big thing for him is this one's going to be, is he training a lot of takedowns and defense and grappling defense in training camp for this fight, because he can adapt during a fight, and he's going to need that to kind of find the openings, because when it comes to Murphy can get caught because of his aggressive style. He might end up making a mistake or leaving an opening that he could take advantage of, and that's going to be Kai's way he needs to win, is keep it on the feet, don't get taken down, which is going to be hard for him because of his takedown defense not being the greatest. His cardio is not the greatest either, because he's very explosive, very high octane. He can kind of burn out midway through the second, by the third, and because he's used to fighting in a ring, which is different than fighting in a cage. It's not the same. So his thing, if you can take low kicks, or if he can go keep it on the feet, land his punches to the body, and low kicks. And low kicks, I've done drills at my home gym. I train Muay Thai, where we've done a drill where it's a lot of low kicks and it hurts afterwards. And I went to a retreat with Jeff Chan. We did a drill with the double step low kick for an hour straight, and my leg was sore after that. My leg's been sore after we've done drills with a lot of leg kicks, a lot of low kicks. So because he's good with body shots, he's good with using low kicks and setting it up by throwing punches to the head. If he can keep it on the feet, using that movement, he can win this. If he can't, and Elliott's able to take him down, I think Elliott's going to win. For me, I'm going to go with Kai, but I think it's very possible that Elliott can win through the takedowns. And hope you just hope Kai is really working that in this camp. The next fight is MVP versus Jared Cannonier, and with that one, the first fight was wrestler versus striker. This one's just striker versus striker, but 2 different styles of striking. When it comes to MVP, he is the best point striker the UFC has ever seen. He's very good at getting in, throwing a strike or two, and getting out. Getting in, throwing a strike or two, and getting out. Getting in, and then when you start to close in on him, you start to think are cutting him off. He just is very quick and able to hang out. And the way he's able to dart in and out real quickly helps with having that karate style stance you kind of see Wonder Boy do. And just, get in. So I just look and say he's just so hard to get to. And that's going to be his key to victory. It's just in and out. Don't let Jared Cannonier touch him. Because for him, he's not got a really lot of knockout power. He has never really been a big knockout artist in his time in Bellator. I'm going to think he's not got the greatest takedown defense. And that could expose him. That's going to be a big thing that could expose him if Jared Cannonier is able to take him down. Now, when it comes to Jared Cannonier, I would say is more of a traditional MMA style striking. You can kind of see the Muay Thai influence, boxing influence, but he's got knockout power. He can hurt you. He can knock you out. He did in the last fight. He won on I think it's fourth round, 4 seconds in the first round, or 4 seconds left in the fourth round with the KO. For him, I think his best shot is gonna be grappling. If he can get a hold of MVP, take him down, and just ground and pound. Because otherwise, kind of like with Kai, if he can land low kicks, keep him so he can't move as good, that's going to take away his ability to leap in and out, going to make him more stationary, and then you can just see him go to town. You can just see it'll be easier for him to hit him, and because he's got the knockout power, maybe knock him out, or rock him, and then he can kind of pin him up against the cage and just go to town him. Or maybe then take him down and look for ground and pound. But to me, if he don't do that and he just lets MVP, or he's got to be really good at cutting him off in the cage so he can land him something. Because if he doesn't, he lets MVP kind of go in and out. He's going to get frustrated. Then that's going to leave him even more inept to chasing MVP, and then MVP's just going to play the game MVP does. So I think honestly, Cannonier's best bet is if he can't cut him off, so he can kind of pin him down and just land. And I don't think, too, he should just start throwing nothing but haymakers. Set up those heavy shots, but still pin him down so you can get to set up so you can pin him down so you can do your combos, and you can end with like your last shot on your combo with a nice heavy punch, or take him down. Because I think if you don't, MVP is just gonna dart in and out, do that point fighting style, win. And personally, I think MVP is gonna win by decision because he's so good at that. And Jared Cannonier doesn't like to change how he fights. He doesn't want to. He's kind of, this is how I fight, this is how I'm going to do it. And I just kind of feel like that's going to end up being his downfall. That's truly how I look at it. And that it could be kind of slow, too, because of that. And he says he don't want to chase him around. And he could not want to. So if he doesn't want to, he's got to cut him off or take him down. Or maybe leg kick him and hope that kind of takes away his spring in a step, and then he can kind of go from there. But I still see just MVP winning this one by decision because that's just him and how he does. Next one, we got Jeff Neal versus Carlos Prates. Now, when it comes to Jeff Neal, he's a very tactical striker. He likes to feint, see what you're going to do, and then kind of attack. And he'll throw 1-2 strikes. He'll wait to throw a combo until either he sees you throw something, and then he'll kind of move and counter and then throw a quick fast barrage, or he'll see you react, see that, okay, you do, I throw like a jab cross, I see the opening, then I might kind of go off on my combo. He'll either kind of use his feints to set up to get you real in to throw some, to then counter strike, or just see what you're going to do and then build his offense off that. And he's got good cage awareness. He can know when the cage is behind him, so this way he won't get pinned up against the cage, because he likes to do that. Pinning his opponents up against the cage, start going hard on them with a nice flurry combo when they're pinned up against it, when he traps them up against the cage. For him, he's good with that kind of cage awareness to know when to, I'm getting too close to the cage. You let me use my footwork, let me use my movement, whether it's lateral or angles to kind of evade and, reset. Right, he's got he's got KO power. And that's what makes him so nice, is he doesn't just go blasting you, he kind of sets it up first. Before he just goes telling you, sets it up, then hits you with that KO power, because that way he can kind of make sure he hits you with it. He's got good takedown defense. Now I think in this fight it's two strikers, kind of like the last fight. It's not going to matter. I don't know if a whole lot of takedowns are going to happen, but he does have good takedown defense. So if Carlos Prates doesn't want to go that route, let's say he's beaten Carlos Prates, can beat up on the feet, he can defend takedowns, which is important. And he also can adapt. Similar to Kai Sakara in this, he can adapt in the fight. Now, Carlos Prates, one thing I think is going to help him is he moved to fighting nerds. And he's had a thing where he'll like win 3, lose 2, win 1, lose 1. And I think sometimes when you're in that way, you need to switch up. You need to go to a new camp. You need to try a different team to kind of see if they can bring something out and you kind of help take it to the next level. But one thing that's going to really help him, and this is kind of what could be a hindrance to Neil, he's a Muay Thai striker with over 100 Muay Thai fights. And that could be big because Neil is susceptible to the low kicks. He's not good at checking them, so he could beat up that leg, and now that takes some power away from Neil. Not really going to be able to hit as hard, not going to be able to move as good, and that could make him more of a stationary target. Especially with his cardio too. Like his wrestling is getting better, it's evolving, but with his cardio, if he starts to get behind, maybe he'll start to throw a lot, tire himself out a little more, maybe even open him even more up to low kicks. Now with Carlos Prates too, he has got power. He's got 16 KOs, 9 of them in the first round. So he's got his power, and with the Muay Thai background, that's going to really help. Now he's not the worst grappler. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's got strong takedown defense. It's 91%. So he's got that ability to defend, and with him being a striker who likes to switch stances, likes to incorporate that, but also a very effective tactical striker. His striking accuracy is 57%, and he throws 4.39 significant strikes per minute. It's very ineffective striking for him. And he also likes to go to the body, not just to the head, so he likes to hit all 3 levels, kind of like Kai Sakara does. For him, the big things is grappling is the second thing, which I like. So I don't know if it's going to matter in this fight. You got two strikers. So I don't know if we're going to see a whole lot of grappling. I think we're going to see a whole lot of slugging, if anything. Next one is he's vulnerable to high volume pressure strikers. Neil ain't that. Neil's about a guy who wants to use his technicalities to set you up for strike. So I don't know if we're going to see a whole lot of that. I don't know if this is going to be the biggest. These two kind of weaknesses of Prates' game is really going to come into effect here. Where I think just it's going to be a striking matchup between these two. And for me, I got Carlos Prates. I just think with those 100 Muay Thai fights, with him switching to fighting nerds, just his power, his style of striking, the fact that Neil is susceptible to leg kicks, and because of him being susceptible to leg kicks, that's just he's going to hit him enough to take him away, and it's going to end up being either TKO in the second, or he's just going to beat him up for all 3 rounds and just win, just straight up win by decision. Now we're on to the co-main event. We got Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico. Comes to Lerone Murphy, he got very good footwork. He likes to even switch his stances too. He's got very good Muay Thai fundamentals, which is going to come in big against Aaron Pico, and I'll say why in a minute. And he's got decent grappling. He's the purple belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, strong takedown defense. So this is going to help against the level of wrestling that Aaron Pico has. He's a very tactical striker. He will counter strike. He does like to use that, but he's very patient too. He's not going to go crazy. He's going to kind of throw his stuff, set you up, see what you do, and then wait for his opening, and then he'll blitz. Then he'll go on you and hit you with a good combo. But he's not ever going to get too crazy. He's going to use his footwork too, to kind of help with this feint, with that technical patient striking to set you up. Now Aaron Pico, he is a elite level wrestler. He nearly qualified for the 2016 Olympics. I mean, that's high level right there. some of the best wrestling you can get to. Um, but he also got good striking. He started training boxing and pancration at a young age. I think it was 4, something like that, like 4 or 6. And he's gotten over the years. He's gotten better at blending his striking with his wrestling. So kind of he can go into strikes, then look to take you down. And it especially works because he's an aggressive striker. He's an aggressive kind of striker in the way he likes to push forward, take shots, exchange one shot for another, for a kind of high risk, high reward scenario. Looking at he gonna hurt you, worse than you're gonna hurt him. But now this is a problem because he's got a very heavy, boxing heavy, offensive striking style. That can lead to kind of like what you saw with or what you could see with Neil and Pratos, a lot of leg kicks, and that could take away power from not just striking but his wrestling. I think that could be the problem for Pico, is he's got to be ready to check those kicks, and not just get too focused on I want to wrestle, and then try and look only for that, and then you just see Murphy just blasting that leg and taking that leg out of him so he can't really move it. And with good Muay Thai fundamentals, that could happen. That could be a big problem that Pico could encounter from Murphy. So I think it's going to be a very interesting fight. And we look at people who've came into from Bellator, the record is kind of decent. You had MVP won all of his fights in the UFC. You had Chishiro Pitbull literally lost his first one, won the second one, and maybe he lost one of his fights, but I think he, if I remember correctly, won all of them in the UFC. So I think this is a very interesting test for Aaron Pico. I think it's funny if you look on his fight card on the ESPN website, they don't have a picture of him. Company that signed a $7.7 billion deal, you kind of figured they would have that. Be pretty easy to do. But for this one, I'm torn because part of me wants to go with Murphy just because I think that's going to be the most advantageous one. But I like to kind of go against the grain. I'm going to go with Pico. I just think that high-level wrestling, even with that strong defense that Murphy has, I think he's going to be able to use that to his advantage and take Murphy down and use that. But I just think he's got to be careful. He can't be too aggressive because I think if he does, Leroy might find him with something and hurt him with something, and that could be it. But I definitely think that I'm going to go with, in my head, Aaron Pico over Murphy. But I think it's going to be a close, good fight. Now, time for the main event. Let's get that one, the fight everyone I think really cares about the most. DDP versus Chimaev. Now, when it comes to this, I think it's going to be very interesting because Chimaev, he's got decent striking. It's not anywhere impressive. It's not like, oh my God, wow, wonderful. However, he has got Dagestani wrestling, which I think is the best kind of wrestling right now in the UFC. I think it's better than American-style wrestling easily. And I know MMA Guru caught some flack for that from DC, but I think he's right. I think that's just the truth, even though DC is like American wrestling, other American wrestlers don't want to hear it. I think he's great at chain wrestling. You kind of see him where he'll grab that one of the arms by the hand to kind of take it as a way of support, so he can then, and they can't use defense, so they can just start punching him. And he's got cardio. He can go for days. He can go for days. So I think definitely that is going to be his key to victory. Get to DDP, take him down, wear him out, and just using that grappling. Now, when it comes to DDP I think is a better striker. He's very weird and unorthodox about the way he throws his strikes, his kind of movement, his footwork. But I think he's better on the feet. I think he's obviously not a better wrestler, but I do think he's bigger. When he said a week before this, last weekend, he said he still had like 30 or 40 pounds to cut. And, to cut that much weight for a fight, that's a lot. So I do think he is for sure the bigger guy. Even though there's some controversy, when you look at that, you had Chimaev right near the camera, you DDP away, that's going to kind of make it look different. But I think he definitely has, he's bigger, he's stronger than Chimaev, and he's got the better striking. And for me, that's going to be DDP's way to win. He can't be taken down. If he's gonna go to the ground, it has to be him doing the takedown. It has to be on his terms. And I think with him, cardio is the only thing I'd be worried about. But with his cardio after the nose surgery, not really seeing a big issue. Even though I think you maybe saw it in the later rounds of the Strickland fight, where he kind of had the cardio. So for him, I'd be really drilling takedown defense. If you get taken down, get up, working on the cardio so you can be able to go a full 5 rounds with takedowns. But I think that's Chimaev's only way to win is just take him down, hold him there, chain wrestle, and just look to land strikes or a submission if it becomes available. But I got DDP. I just think his wrestling isn't on the same level, his striking is way better. He's got the power knockout that I don't think Chimaev has. And I actually think he could use that to Chimaev. If he can make Chimaev wrestle and yet he can kind of keep it off him, or maybe even just land him with some hard strikes, really kind of beat up Chimaev, maybe even to the body, he can maybe take Chimaev out. He can maybe gas him out a bit. Especially Chimaev, he's fought more recently than Chimaev. So I think that could be a big thing. So I just think DDP, because he may not be the superior grappler, but he's the superior striker. I think he'd be able to hang with the grappling of Chimaev, but Chimaev can't hang with DDP striking. So I think the game plan is going to be for DDP is to kind of circle, keep away from the fence so he can't take you down, just not allow him to get a takedown on you, and then just look to blast him with some good shots, potentially hurt him and rock him, and then finish him that way on the ground, or whether it be submission or ground and pound, or just look to hit him with a good shot to just look to end the fight. So for me, I got DDP winning this fight. That's kind of where I see it. That's kind of where I'm guessing. And I just think DDP is going to win because he's going to be able to outstrike him. I think he's going to be able to handle with Chimaev's grappling. But I think it's going to be a good fight either way. I think it's going to be a fun fight to watch. I just got DDP because I just think he's got a more unorthodox striking style. He's got better movement, better footwork that he can use to keep Chimaev from getting takedowns, and Chimaev does try and go. He's got the defense to fight him off, but he's also got the strength to kind of, fight him if he needs to, for sure. But those are my picks for UFC 319. Can't wait to see the card. Hope it's going to be a good one here. But y'all, man, I'm going to head out. Train hard, have fun. Peace, y'all.